Dude, we are here with Clownfish TV and Snow White situation, blah, 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 blah. Let's get into this. We know what this is about.
TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Geeky! Hey, Geeky.
And the Snow White situation just got so much worse. So much worse.
As it's been doing for years.
So we're going to talk about a couple of things in this video. One, we're going to talk about the box office performance being worse than they thought it was going to be. We're going to talk about Rachel Zegler
Let's get out of
sitting
Geeky's
in
way.
the theater watching the movie. That's
Yeah, well, it's possible she rented the theater, but probably not, because she seems like the type she'd want the accolades.
It's possible. And the lead, though, is that the producer of the movie, Mark Platt, went to New York to have a talking to with Rachel Zegler, and now her stands are attacking not just him, but his son on social media.
How dare you don't harass the poor 20-year-old actor?
She was attacking somebody's son? What happened? Please show the deets. I need the deets.
Shouldn't have said online.
Right. So we're gonna talk about this, and I do believe you're right. We talked about it yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. They all blur together. All these damn Snow White videos blur
Every
together.
day.
It's literally the same thing over and over of her being the dumbest person in Hollywood currently, and then doubling down on being the dumbest person.
I do believe you're right that they're going to institute a hard and fast social media policy going forward, especially if they're working with somebody. You know,
How have they not already done that? Like after Gina Carano, you think they would have been like, guys, shut your mouths. Because so many people have gotten in trouble since then. There we go. All right. So many people have gotten in trouble since then. I don't know why they haven't already done that. It seems ridiculous to just let them like shoot their mouths. Like they're celebrities. They don't know what they're talking about. They get told what their opinions are, and then they just repeat them.
Or they don't have the experience or like the track record with other studios to prove that they can keep their mouth shut.
Right. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, so this is, we're going to walk back a little bit for those of you who don't know what led up to this. There was
Okay,
a big
thank you.
story that broke in
That's exactly what I needed.
yesterday that basically Disney sent the producer of the movie to New York to talk to Rachel Zegler after she posted a politically charged take underneath the announcement trailer for Snow White.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
the
she thanked
producer?
people for so many people viewing the trailer in like a short amount of time, and she was making this big post like "thank you" and everything else, and then finished it with "Free Palestine." Instead of just saying it like as a separate post or whatever, she tied it into the Snow White.
What? Why? Oh, well, I know why. It's stupid. Why would Disney let that happen? Why wouldn't they say, hey, shut your mouth? Like, she's done this so many times by now. Why can't Disney just wrangle her in? Or at least come out and say, we don't agree with her opinions, and she won't stop talking.
Thing. And then return, it ended up leading to Gal Gadot having to have security details because she was getting death threats after that. And then I guess they had to get a social media group.
I know this one because Gal Gadot served in the Israeli army, but that's because you have to over there. It was not like it was her choice, but dadgum if Rachel Zegler doesn't actually know that because she can't be bothered to do any research into the things she claims to hate.
Guru for this idiot for Zegler because she kept talking stupid, and then she just continued to do it. After they told her to shut up, she continued to keep going.
Yeah, so, she said, F Donald Trump. She said, may Trump supporters never know any peace after she got talked to. And this guy's, I mean, look, he's a big deal, right? It said that Platt has backed countless other productions, including Wicked, on both stage and screen. So, I mean, he's not like some like this is a big deal. Like this guy could make or break your career. And if he actually worked on Wicked on Broadway, that's where she's going is Broadway. I'm sure he could make a few phone calls.
Have fun on Broadway. It doesn't sound like it's going very smooth. You're already burning bridges before you cross them.
And be like, hey, yeah, she's a train wreck. Not that anybody would have to call.
Her stands are going on harassing his son.
Yeah, so this is him responding.
Jagan's junk for sending that to me.
Yeah, Jagan's junk. So this is getting crazy. So this is somebody harassing him on Instagram. They said your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress.
Who deserved it?
Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. No, that is. Look, go watch Hail Caesar. I know I keep telling people to go watch this movie. That actually did happen in Hollywood back in the day. They had people that would go around and put fires out before they hit the press. It's a lot.
You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics in the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicly for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. That's true. That's very true. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled and encouraged. Based. This man knows what he's talking about. This is exactly true. This is something this person will probably not even read all of this. They'll just get mad at the first point that actually makes sense and think this is stupid and stop reading it, because they're going to get dangerously close to actually having to think about what they actually believe and whether or not it makes sense, and it's going to scare the crap out of them.
A lot easier back then because you only had newspapers and occasional TV or whatever. But hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line, right?
Yeah.
People have the right to free speech. Shame on your father.
Okay, here's the thing. Back to this person, this idiot. First of all, you don't have a right to free speech when you're signed on for a big production, okay? You can say stuff, and she could have said, if she wanted to say Free Palestine, she still probably would have gotten in trouble for it.
Yeah, she could have said that separately on
tied to the Snow White situation, okay?
Yeah.
And you know what? Meanwhile, you have Gina Carano, who made a comment about, how everybody's acting like the Holocaust again. And, the reason it happened was because, you hated your neighbor for them to be able to round people up in a post that was completely unrelated to Star Wars. She just posted it on her own personal. Freedom of speech, huh? I bet you're one of the ones cheering on when she got her ass hauled out and because she was called an anti-Semite. Meanwhile, speaking of anti-Semites, I'm just saying, you don't get the right to say that, because when you have this job and it's your job to represent something like a film, you aren't allowed to go say stuff like that. And if you do, you sure as hell don't put it on the same post as the, thank you everyone for watching my trailer post. It was colossally stupid. I'm sorry. You can stick it up your ass and cry about it, but it is colossally stupid.
Well, this is what he said, and he's not wrong. We talked about this the other day too.
Yeah, free speech just means you're allowed to say it, and you're not allowed to be arrested for it or physically assaulted for it. You can be fired for it. There's nothing against that.
He said, you want to do this? Yeah. My dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand this 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability.
Well, you're talking to a bunch of children, so what do you expect?
And her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Yes, free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
Amen.
Holy shit.
Good. And you know
Holy
what?
shit.
It's like,
Good.
and what was
This whole thing was a roast.
Freedom of speech doesn't need freedom of consequences. Isn't that what y'all kept saying? Isn't it though? And that's what you kept saying about, Gina Carano, freedom of speech. Yeah, she had the right to say it, but it's not freedom of consequence. Go Disney for firing her. You know what? Fuck you, because you can't have both ways. And I'm sorry. She's allowed to have her own opinion. Yes, but she has to choose. Does she want to put her own opinion out there, or does she want to get rehired in Hollywood?
Yeah, well, I don't think she's going to get rehired in Hollywood.
No, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole, and she deserves everything she gets.
Yeah, honestly.
Now
I hope she just never
they're
gets
coming
work again.
after the producer's son.
Hopefully she finds
on social
another
media.
job where she'd be better
Yeah,
at
I'd
it.
love some insight on how any of these posts is considered narcissistic power move to sabotage an entire cast and crew, while the other is merely an exercise in free speech, free Palestine. Well, she said F Donald Trump, basically F his supporters. Yeah, there's nothing wrong here. I don't think
it's a job. If you go to your workplace,
Good job, whoever Alex
they
Clark
were nice
is.
enough to hide their name. If you go to your job, and your job, is to we'll say McDonald's, I use that one a lot, and you're going to your McDonald's job, because that's probably where this person's going, and you're going to Miss McDonald's job, and you're in there working, and you're like, on someone's place to order, and I'd like, double cheeseburger and French fries, and you're like, thank you for coming to McDonald's and ordering your double cheeseburger and French fries, and remember, free Palestine. How long do you think you're gonna have a fucking job?
Yeah,
So
I
your
would
hat
not
is
be
red
going
with
back there
Donald
until they
Trump.
fired that person.
It's
I don't
like,
want to hear
this
about
is
politics.
crazy.
If I'm at a McDonald's ordering a double cheeseburger, I had a bad day. I'm not making good decisions. I don't want to hear somebody else's politics. I want to keep to myself and talk to as few people as possible.
You need PR training? No, he's pretty much right. He was right.
Did your daddy talk to you? Yeah, so they're going on about they're going to dig up all the dirt on these.
They're
guys
trying
now.
very hard, and it's really, really stupid because they're wrong. They're in the wrong. Rachel Zegler, what she did was dumb, and you have freedom of speech because you can say what you want because you aren't in a position where you have like a multi-million-dollar franchise attached to you, and you're taking all kinds of money with the understanding that you're going to do your best to promote this movie and not sabotage the hell out of it. And when you have a hot political, button like that, and your co-star is on the opposite side of you because she literally is Israeli, it probably isn't a really good thing to do.
Well-
and all you did was create people that were boycotting it because of Palestine and because of Israel too.
Yeah, so he does have a personal stake in this. The Platts apparently are Jewish.
Well, I'm sure they are, but I'm
So,
just saying that
it's-
aside.
Right. I'm just saying, like,
So it's Hollywood, duh.
your boss. So your boss is Jewish. Your co-star is Jewish. Bob Iger is Jewish. I'm just saying, like, you don't. What's the word? You don't shit where you
Bold strategy. That was interesting for her to go that direction, knowing everybody above her is Jewish.
eat. I mean, you can have your opinions, but just realize that, like, you're. But the thing is, it sounds to me like she signed some kind of an agreement when she took the millions of dollars to say nice things and be.
Weird how telling half the country, well, over half the country, to never know peace again is not a
positive.
nice thing.
When your job is to be, you're not supposed to tank. It's understood. You're not supposed to disparage it. Go back up to that last comment. Go back up to that last comment you had a minute ago. This is the first one. That's real Latina Kennedy. Of course, don't harass anyone. But Daddy,
You hear that, guys? She's a real Latina. Not like you fake Latinas out there who might actually think for yourselves. She's a real Latina. Remember that.
adult sons alone in their mansion so he could bully a 20-year-old girl into leading her genocide is a bad tweet. Evil ass cartoon villains of a family. We won't forget this. They're not wrong. And I'm sure the dude went over there because Disney sent him. I'm sure he got called up by Iger and told to handle it.
But it was okay when they hauled Gina Carano into
Yes, that's
a
just
Zoom chat.
consequences.
That's different. She had a different opinion than them. I feel like Rachel Ziegler probably mainly agrees with what they had to say, other than that Palestine versus Israel thing, since she clearly does not know what's going on over there. She's just repeating talking points she saw online.
Yeah, that was consequences. To talk to.
I want to calm that down. I think they only kept her this long because they also didn't like Trump and was like, well, we kind of agree with that. People don't like it, so stop doing that. But we totally agree. Keep her around.
A bunch of trans advocates or whatever the hell was going on there. That was okay, but this is not okay.
How is this? I don't understand. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. She said something stupid, and she was getting out of control because before she did that, she was out there D23 saying really stupid things too. And I'm sure they were watching this and like, okay, she's young, we'll let it go the first time. And then she did it again. And then they're like, no, you have to address this. And they had to send somebody whole way over to take care of the situation. Your boss isn't going to sit there and let you keep talking shit and not do anything about it, okay? He's going to be sent by his boss to handle it. So he got them to handle it, and their evil-ass family, I'm sure he was told he had to go do it. Kindly go fuck yourselves. I'm sure you do it often.
I hope you and your parasite executive father and your uncanny valley untalented brother and your Zio lobbyist mother drops dead. I'm the bad guy. You're a loser.
Is that the person who made the comment initially?
No, this is a different person.
Oh.
There's a lot of people flying
unless they
around.
have sock puppets. But here's the thing. Like,
Rachel Zegler, a wonderful person.
You do realize that his dad was also behind Wicked too, right? And his dad. You know what I'm saying?
That requires effort to go look into it. They're just too busy screaming their heads off because they're gonna do what they usually do. Get mad about
I don't know what
something
this
they
is. I don't
have
know
no
who
right to
this
be mad
is.
about, and then go bully everyone associated with it to try to learn them and to agree with you. Because when you bully the shit out of somebody and you call them names and harass them, that's going to, one, make them change their mind and agree with you, and two, it's going to somehow change the outcome of something that already happened. And the movie still failed. It failed worse than what we were told initially, which we'll talk about in a minute. And this is somehow going to help because we're calling him a nepo baby is going to fix the situation.
It won't.
You were wrong and you were out of line.
Yeah,
They just ran out of arguments.
So here's the thing though, like the fact that he is coming out and saying that Rachel Zegler, he is saying as the son of the producer, who I'm sure has conversations with his dad often about the business side of things, as the son of the producer of this movie, he is coming out and saying her actions cost us hundreds of millions of dollars potentially.
But they're the bad guys because they went and told a 20-year-old to stop speaking out of turn because she kept doing it. It wasn't just about, they keep acting, there was only that one comment. That was when they sent somebody out. That was after she'd already said a bunch of shit, and she still talked shit afterwards. And she refused to take that down. She never took the comment down. And Disney never made her. They never made
Dude, she can just not keep her mouth quiet. Whatever happened to professionalism in Hollywood? I liked it better when we didn't know what celebrities were thinking. I liked it when they were mysterious, so you could still actually kind of like or respect them.
made her take the comment down. I'm sure they told her they would like her to. She didn't. So she still got to leave the comment up. Gina Carano got fired over less. And which is giving her more ammunition to kick Disney's ass, by the way.
Yeah,
but
I think this is gonna backfire colossally because they're gonna be like, well, yeah, why didn't you make her scrub her social media? Why didn't you make her grovel? She got to go say F Donald Trump and F Trump supporters and all that stuff after the fact.
Yeah, Gal Gadot did not hurt the box office. I mean, it might have hurt watching her in the movie trying to act. She's not a great actress. I like her. I think she's fun in some of the things she does. I think she was a great Wonder Woman, but she's not a great actress, unfortunately. So as long as the movie isn't like being carried on her shoulders, it should have been fine. But Rachel Ziegler is like 99% of the reason people didn't want to go.
And she got to, you didn't pull the movie.
Right, I'm just saying, this is just, they needed to handle it. She wouldn't shut her mouth. And there's going about Gadot's comments. I don't know what Gadot said, but here's the thing. Again, like I said before, if she didn't tie it to the Snow White debacle, they probably would have said nothing to Ziegler.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot's making comments, and she's not tying it to Snow White.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, she responded. What kicked it off initially was she responded to the official promotional post for the movie and made it political. And then after they told her to knock it off, she continued to double down on it.
And they're like,
Yeah,
"Isn't
you
she
can't
an
do that to your
activist?"
boss.
And I'm like, gosh, which
Boss
one
has
is
the
it?
final say,
It's
man.
okay to fire Gina Carano because she's anti-Semitic according to her tweet, but we can't fire Ziegler for doing the same thing. Which one is it? You know, it's like that meme about with the guy sweating in the two buttons. Please, and tell me which one it is. Because if one person, it's an outrage and how dare they need to be fired, and the other person, it's like how dare they even, and they didn't even fire her. They just told her, hey, you know, don't be posting stuff like that tied to Snow White. How dare they?
So I'm gonna tell you right now, like you're not gonna win this one. He's talking to Josh Gad on his podcast about being Jewish.
That's Josh Gad. What happened to Josh Gad, man? He let himself go. Also, his hair looks a lot lighter. His glasses, no offense. I don't want to like rag on someone's aesthetics, but like the glasses are ugly. He needs to go back to whatever he was wearing before, because I don't remember thinking his glasses were ugly before. And he's kind of dressed like a douche. No offense. It's the scarf, I think, that's doing it. The scarf with the striped shirt. I don't know, man. But he does not look like he's in a healthy place. I hope he's all right. Because I loved him as Olaf, and I really, really liked him in the live-action Beauty and the Beast as LeFou, and then Murder on the Orient Express he was really good in. He's really been going downhill since COVID, though. I hope he's okay, man.
Josh Gad is Disney royalty. Like he is in like Flynn with Disney. You have no idea. So if he's got access to Josh Gad and he's friends with Josh Gad, I guarantee you Bob Iger's not real happy with the situation with Ziegler.
No. And the thing is, but the people didn't go to the movie anyway. But I'm sure her behavior did not help. And like I said, she already shot her mouth on D23. She already had damage there with her comments about the prince and how they're going to change the story. Honestly, I would argue that did far more damage than her Free Palestine comment.
Oh, yeah.
The Free Palestine comment allegedly led to Disney getting fed up, sending someone over to chew her ass out. And they left her leave it up, though. And then telling her that she needed to have a social media person monitoring her for her behavior. Which in turn, she turned around and told Trump supporters that she hoped they all don't know peace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but yeah, she's the innocent poor victim. Poor Rachel Zegler.
Poor Rachel
My
Zegler.
ass.
Wasn't her, it was Russian bots.
Oh yes, right? Yes.
No, this is not real, by the way. It's funny though, because I could see this headline being written 10 years ago. Vogue, Disney confirms Russian troll farms at heart of bad Snow White opening weekend. I can totally see that happening.
Russian troll farms? There is no way Russia gives a crap about this Snow White movie. There's no way trolls care enough about this movie. If anything, they would troll specifically Rachel and not even mention the movie. It would not even pop up in their heads. They would just completely gloss over it and go straight for Rachel.
Well, I'm sure they're joking because they're blaming it on, blue versus red, and they were blaming it on every ridiculous reason under the sun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, here she is in an empty theater. Now, look, like you said, this is you're not going to send.
If I'm being fair.
Yeah, you're not going to send Rachel Zegler to the matinee showing of Snow.
Yeah, she's going to be in an empty theater because she's like the star of the movie. I would not let my stars be in a theater full of other people, especially when there's so much backlash already going towards it.
White in Chicago at 2:00 on a Saturday, but to be fair, there probably was nobody in that showing at 2:00 on
Yeah,
a
I
Saturday
know, but I mean, it's
weekend.
also possible she bought the theater out,
Like she'd be in like a private showing for sure.
she,
Also, she just seems bratty and stuck up enough that she wouldn't want to watch it with the commoners.
to make sure that the one person that was going to come besides her didn't show up. But yeah, I mean, we don't know why the theater's empty, so I don't want to make assumptions. But if it is a troll or an own, it didn't land.
Meanwhile, we've got actual dwarfs.
Oh shit! I didn't see this.
You didn't see this?
What?
Hire real dwarfs. They're mad. He's taking an axe to the Snow White movie sign.
I'm sure he didn't break it.
Hire real dwarfs.
I'm sure he doesn't. But
That's funny.
was there
There's
anybody in the
nobody
theater?
There's nobody.
There's
in the
nobody.
theater either. He's got the whole. Maybe he ran the whole thing out just to do this. Hire real
No,
dwarfs. Yeah,
no,
they're-
no. I fully believe he just hired. He got tickets. He came in and was like, "This is awesome."
They're a little angry.
A little
grumpy.
angry. Yeah, okay, so you did
Little-
there.
I
Yeah, that's a
didn't- I
fake
didn't-
axe. It was not going to do any damage to it.
If I was going to go for
But,
that, I would
don't
say
you
they're a
know,
little grumpy.
according to the guy that was in, Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff, there are not enough talented actors with dwarfism to make up the seven dwarfs.
That
They can
is-
work together.
Oh yeah, that is the.
That was kind of offensive too. That was doubly offensive.
Oh, dude, that was a cool
I know you're
kill.
short, but you're also
I
not
hit his arm
talented,
'cause I saw it
so
was like-
keep pushing.
that is one of the worst things you can possibly say. Like, hey, man, you got yours. You got to be grumpy, but you think there's only 2 or 3 talented dwarf actors out there? What the hell is? What the
Well, you could have always done what the Willy Wonka movie did, or was it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? I think it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Which one was the second one with Johnny Depp? I want to say Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where they just had the one guy and they just repeated him over and over to be all the Oompa Loompas.
hell's wrong with you?
Yep.
They get along. Was it like Peter Dinklage?
That would be, yeah,
is
they have
hard to
the
get along with?
caliber, yeah, that are the caliber to do it, and they can do it together or something like that. Yeah.
Well, to be honest though, Peter Dinklage is at a point right now where I don't think, unless they made his dwarf the main character, I don't think he would be interested. Like he doesn't do small roles anymore.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, why would he?
But
You know.
that was a joke.
I know. Okay.
But he doesn't. He's got to be the
He also seems like he's kind of stuck up.
So this is coming from Cosmic Book News. Disney Snow White is on track to lose $200 million. I don't know why they thought that they're like, it's not going to lose that much money, guys. You don't understand how math
Cope.
works.
It's called
Like,
cope.
If
They
it
were
cost
coping.
$100 million and it made $100 million, then it broke even.
Well, this article actually, yeah, I know. This article is actually nicer about it though, because if the budget, they're going by the 500 million to break even. I think it's going to be way more than that because they're saying it's at least 100 million in promotion, not counting the theater cuts. So
We
even
will
if you do
never
the 2 times, even if you do the 2 times, and you're believing that the budget was 270 million, I think it's probably higher than that. That means it has to make at least 540 million to break even. If they're thinking by estimates, I was on another site, they're estimating that it might hit 250 million globally, and that's it at the max. And if that's the case, then we're talking like 250 to 300 million dollar loss at the low end.
At the low end, but like,
Ooh.
here's the thing, you
Oh,
will never
no way it hits
know
that, man.
exactly what a Disney project costs because they spread the cost around. They hide it. They hide it with they get like grants and all stuff, and it'll come out in like 2 or 3 years. Somebody will have to do some digging, and be like, oh, Snow White actually costs like $600 million to make. Whoopsie doopsie.
Oh yeah, and you know they're going to have a bunch of like credits and crap too, from like we filmed it here and got credits and stuff like that.
Would have been cheaper with real dwarfs. I'm just saying. Would have been a lot cheaper.
I'm sure
Probably,
it would've been. I think
yeah.
that's why a lot they had to do reshoots and they had to do a bunch of stuff was because of that, and they would have looked a lot better.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. I went to Box Office Mojo, and as of today, 88 million worldwide. Worldwide, they were expecting
Yeah.
that opening weekend.
They were expecting 100.
Yeah,
opening
well, yeah, they're
weekend.
expecting
Not even hitting the 100. You're way off.
more than that. Yeah, more than that opening weekend. Just opening weekend. Here we are, several days after, and it's still.
Yeah, so the totals.
That
came
thing's
back,
almost
it's about
2
a
hours
million,
long.
Was it like a million point? I forgot what it was. Lower, 1.2 or something that lower.
Yeah, it's like
what they
40. It
say.
wound up being like 42 million. It wasn't even 43. But they kept adjusting it down because I remember back in January, they're like, "Oh, this thing's easily going to do, even with the controversy, it's easily going to do 60 to 70 million, easy." And that was like,
Well-
okay, well, maybe not. Maybe 55 to 60. Okay, maybe 50 to 55. Okay, maybe 45.
I'm waiting. I know, right? I'm waiting to see what the drop off is because I think it's going to be a huge drop off. They're saying at the most it might make 50 million globally this next weekend, but after this next weekend, it's toast because
Minecraft.
the Minecraft comes out and kids are.
Well, not just Minecraft, but also after like the first couple of weeks with something like this, it's not going to make any money. Like if they didn't show up for the opening or the week after to wait for the crowds to die down, like a lot of people do, it's not making much money after that, and most of that money is going to go to the theaters. Because the theaters do get a cut, and then after a certain amount of time for the thing being in the theaters get a larger cut if people are still going to it.
They're going to want to watch,
Yeah.
Minecraft miners and not, dwarf miners.
Yeah, maybe that's what.
ERS, not,
I'm very interested to see how the Minecraft movie does, though. The Minecraft movie looks like it's gonna suck, but it's releasing next to Snow White, where it would look a lot better. And Jack Black and Jason Momoa are fan favorites. Jack Black a little less so over the years due to some stuff. Go check the video of me reacting to his kind of downfall if you want to see what's going on with that. But a lot of kids are not going to care either way. They don't care about the quality of their movies.
Maybe they should have. Oh my
And
God.
also, Minecraft appeals to both genders, unlike Snow White, which really doesn't. Let's face it, it's mainly a girl thing. Girls like it, boys, it's not their thing, and especially not this remade version of it. But Minecraft appeals to everyone. Not necessarily the movie, but the IP appeals to everyone.
God, I'm sure that's a site somewhere in the dark web. Maybe they should have done a mashup and been like, how can we make Snow White relevant for today's audiences? Let's make it Minecraft. Minecraft with the 7 dwarves. We'll make them all blocky. Do a mashup.
But there you go. Yeah, but they
That would
already,
actually
they already
work.
look stupid. No, it wouldn't work. It would not work.
And it's so weird because I guess they had a CGI Seven Dwarfs cartoon that they were working on that they actually canceled, which looked better than this movie.
That's why
But
they
they canceled
canceled it probably because it looked better than the
Ooh.
movie. And I mean, they look terrible. The dwarves, I think, are a big part of why the
They
movie
do
failed. And
look
I think
bad,
Riddler is a
man.
big part of why the movie failed. I think that her comments.
Also, I
seem to
heard
be
they gave Dopey a backstory and some lore about why he doesn't talk. Why?
it was a political thing.
Yeah.
The weird, and that she doesn't need no prints, and then they didn't give her prints. It was some thief. Same thing, but now it's a bandit, normal guy, because that somehow makes it better. But it's the exact same thing. He still kisses.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's 7 dwarves and 7 bandits. They split it into like 2 different things, I guess, to add to the runtime, or it was originally the bandits, and then last minute they decided, because they did do a lot of reshoots, and maybe they decided, hey, let's add dwarves in there, but we also already paid for the 7 bandits part of the storyline that's kind of important. Well, they basically split it into 2 different things, so it makes the movie convoluted. It was honestly a really bad business decision.
He married
Her.
poor.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's exactly. It's Flynn Rider at this point.
Yeah, it is Flynn
Eugene.
Rider. That's what people said. It's Flynn Rider. It's like, no, she gets to make him the prince.
Flynn
A
Rider.
less charismatic and endearing Flynn Rider.
Yeah,
I know who that is. It's just
that
weird
was
to
it.
hear
like, right
that.
out of the gate, people were like, "Oh, you're gonna make a lot of changes."
It's
to
been
Snow
so
White.
long.
That's not good. So even
Right.
before she got political, just thrashing the original movie the way that she did, and saying about how weird it was and how stalker it was, and she didn't care for it. And then she turns around and she gets this PR person like, "No, I actually love Snow White. Honest to God, Mickey, I love Snow White. I really, really love it." So I wonder if this is why. Disney
Do
historically,
you,
puts
though?
their kids through the Disney system? Like you start out as a Disney Channel kid, and then once
she a
we
Disney
train
Channel
you,
kid?
take that as you will.
Okay. But they start you as a Disney Channel kid, and once you get trained and
Once you get
to take your
trained,
pants off, then you can.
I wasn't going there. I said take that as you will, but then we will promote you. Look at Zendaya. Then we will promote you into like major motion pictures. But you
No,
know the
but-
drill.
Okay,
I
people
don't
like
think-
Zendaya,
that's
though.
also, I don't think that's the way it should be either, because there's a lot
No.
of Disney children stars. I don't think they can carry films.
No,
you know?
but historically, like you look at Disney, and they would pull from like the Mickey Mouse Club, or they would work. Disney worked with Haley Mills all the time. Yeah, it was because they knew that these kids wouldn't shoot the damn mouths off.
Mhm.
It's like they were part of the system. Now, unfortunately, there's a whole dark side to that. Some of these actors,
You can't take the leash off of children, otherwise they'll just keep pushing the boundaries to see how much they can get away with.
Oh God, I want to say shafted, but that's probably a poor choice of words. Some of them kind of forgotten by Hollywood and all that. But I'm just saying, like, when you're dealing with people of a certain age that don't have a lot of experience, yeah, you got to clamp down on them.
I don't know if that was the right way to word it either.
You know what? I'm
I
saying?
don't think that was that bad, though.
The
I think
guy's not
I think that
wrong.
was perfectly
Hundreds of
fine.
millions of dollars. Yeah, was this movie ever gonna do gangbusters? Hell no. It looks like shit, and it's mid. But it would have done better had she, because people already had their backs up. She set the tone. She set the tone right out of the gate that this movie's gonna be way different, and politics, and
Yeah.
suck it,
Politics.
Chaz.
And now
politics.
people are going after the producers,
Yes.
Ooh,
family,
no.
Yes.
which I'm like, it's not going to endear her even more. You're actually
Yeah, you
there are
can't-
people who are like, oh, we're trying to defend
Dragging
Rachel
family
Zegler.
into it? That's
Let's
not
right
okay.
now.
Right.
Doing this, you just cost her jobs. So
Yeah.
good job, you morons.
Yeah.
Because in your effort to go defend her by going after the producer and his family, you likely just made sure she will not be hired again, and maybe not even on Broadway.
Yeah.
Way to
yeah.
go.
Yeah, you're
seriously,
going after
like, we
people's
can't hire
families,
her
they're not
because
gonna
of
feel
these
safe.
damn stands.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we hire her and we, whatever, like, yeah. See also Ezra Miller, like Ezra
Right,
Miller's.
right.
phone's not
Oh,
ringing.
you guys remember the Ezra Miller thing? Oh, this is Clownfish TV. Give him a like and sub. Clearly, this is going to be the last Snow White video I react to because, frankly, I'm tired of hearing about her. And it's out now. It's doing horribly. It's bombing. No one likes her. No one likes the movie. No one likes Gal Gadot's acting. I think it's safe to say this is dead in the water, and we can be done talking about if she doesn't do anything else stupid in the next week or so. We should be on to Minecraft video reactions because I'm really tired of hearing about this and her specifically. So leave a like and comment if you're going to go see the movie, and if not, which part of everything you just heard was why you're not going to go watch the movie, or if you just don't care about. I don't care about the movie. I didn't care about the first movie. It was fine. It was a quick. The most important part of that, it was a quick, cute movie. It did not last very long. Honestly, I don't even think it was full movie length. I think it was like a really, really short, like under an hour, if I recall correctly. But I think that was the perfect amount of time for it. And this should not have been almost 2 hours for the remake. I feel like they could have shaved like 40 minutes off of this sucker, and it probably would have been a lot better. It would have done better. All right, I'm out, guys. This was awful to watch. I'm in a terrible mood now. It's almost been 30 minutes, so we're going to end. Catch you later. Catch me on Twitch and YouTube. Love you. Mwah.